ladies of Booksmart, and we're in the studio with the Hollywood Reporter!
Hi!
Oh,
hi! Hello! Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so my first question is, who all knew each other before going into this movie? The three of you. Okay, great.
So,
wow.
Billy and I went to high school together, but we were in different grades. We're currently in different grades.
We're currently in different grades.
We were in different grades in high school, so we didn't really know each other, but we did, in fact, go to high school together. And Molly and I have been best friends since she was 12, and so the fact that we're in this film together about friendship is like deeply, deeply, deeply meaningful.
And Beanie's about 30 years older.
And
She was 12, I was 90.
I knew Billy in a past life.
Yeah, that's very true. Yes.
Perfect.
Our souls knew each other about 800 years ago.
Okay, so whenever you, did you each click with your character immediately when you read the script? And also, did anyone read or audition for a different role than the one you ended up getting?
Just Gigi.
Just Gigi.
Yeah, just Gigi, and I deeply relate to her on a visceral level.
And why is that?
Because she is who I would be if no one was watching. Like that quote goes, dance like no one's watching, and Gigi does.
And you just pop up.
And so do I.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's really beautiful.
Thank you.
What about you?
I read Booksmart about 4 years ago and instantly knew that I just felt like an Amy from the moment I read it. And no, I was just always Amy, and I had to be a part of it when I immediately read it. I just loved it so much.
Wonderful.
I read it over 3 years ago at this point, and I was originally auditioning for, or to be a part of it for a role that doesn't even really exist in the film as is anymore. And then when Olivia came on, she was like, no, you're Molly, and I was like, okay. If you think so.
Yeah, when my first meeting with Olivia, she said, so I have all these ideas for Booksmart, but this movie is not being made without Beanie Feldstein as Molly. So
It's insane. I literally had no idea that was happening.
I love that. What was the other role that you read for?
She doesn't exist in the film anymore. It's closest to Billy's character, but she doesn't exist as is anymore. Billy's Gigi.
Sorry. Thank you and sorry.
There is no one else.
Thank you, and
when
I'm
we
sorry.
finished the table read, the first thing I said to Kaitlyn, and we had been like practicing and we were so nervous, the first thing I said to Kaitlyn was, Billie Lourd as Gigi will be an iconic performance for the rest of time.
I did.
You said that
growl
after
in
our
the
table read.
That's
You
yes.
also
Like,
that's what you
came
just
from a flight.
I came,
right?
off like a 6 a.m. flight, rolled in with my suitcase, and started growling.
You were amazing.
As one does, you know?
Molly and Diana, what about you guys?
I feel like I wouldn't have usually thought that I would be right for this role, and that's what was exciting about it. I was surprised that I even got to audition for it. But I think that was the genius of Olivia's, that she realized, let's cast people that maybe wouldn't always be right for this role. And it was fun to play something different than me.
Yeah, when I first read the script, I wanted to play Hope. I mean, I thought she was so cool, and I was like, man, if I had the courage to be Hope, like, I totally would. Not as mean, but like as like, I don't know, just not caring, you know, and just kind of doing your own thing. And I guess I do that in some respect, but like not in the same way that Hope did in high school. And it was just really cool to like, kind of like fulfill maybe like a weird high school prophecy of like, I totally was like this in high school, and now I get to pretend that I really was. So that was cool.
You know, one of the things that's great about the film is that Kaitlyn, your character, is gay, but it's not a plot line or a storyline or anything like that. It's refreshing, and it seems like we're kind of moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way about this movie too, and was that something that was important to you guys?
Yeah, it was immediately so important to me. I knew immediately that Amy was it was going to be so inspiring. The role was going to be so inspiring for a lot of people. But I think it's so wonderful, and I feel like so incredibly honored to be playing a girl like Amy. You know, in the early conversations with Olivia, it was never, we didn't want to put too much effort onto it. We didn't want to put her sexuality on a pedestal because it's not her defining characteristic. You know, there would be we always would think about her character bio and what that would say. Her sexuality would be 4th or 5th on the list before or after everything else. So it was really, really important to me. And what's so cool also is that these two characters, Molly and Amy, are going to be seen by such a wide audience. I think people to see representation, they sort of had to seek it out in the past and go to like smaller theaters or indie films. But it's really cool that this is going to be seen by a lot of people.
Yeah, I love that. Did anybody else respond to maybe that part of the script or the movie?
I love that the friendship is the main character of our film. Their friendship, it's not even Molly or Amy, it's the space between them and the love between them is the main character of the film. And to have that between a straight young woman and a queer young woman, and have, in another film, first of all, they would have been going after guys, both of them, or they would have been going after the same guy, and sexuality or experiences like that would have maybe come between them, or there would have been something to do with like jealousy or tension, or if one character was queer, there'd be like, does she like me? All of those
Or
types of
there'd be
things.
jokes about it,
Yeah.
they'd make fun of it.
And in Booksmart, it's like, no, these are two women that love each other, and whenever, moments of love or crushes come into the conversation, they're like, go get them, I love you, I'm so proud of you, I want you to have this experience. And I think that is that's really, really special, especially between a queer character and a straight character and a female friendship.
Yeah, you don't see those same tropes that we've seen forever.
Yeah.
Which is,
Because it's not just
so
about
refreshing.
representation, but it's about how you're representing a community. It's not just throwing them up on the screen and saying, look, we did it. It's like, no, how are you treating that character? Are you treating it with complexity? Are you treating it with vulnerability and honesty? And I think Booksmart is such a beautiful representation of
yeah,
that.
and Amy's not the only queer character in this movie either, which is really
And she's
awesome
not a
too.
stereotype.
Yeah.
That's what's cool about it.
And you brought up Olivia. How is she as a director, and what does she bring to the table?
Heaven.
I've heard nothing but good things, so yeah. What was that
Gosh.
experience like?
Heaven.
Just heaven.
Yeah.
Just
So easy.
too many positive adjectives to fit in my mouth.
What do you think it is about her? Because I know I've watched lots of interviews, and she just seems so special watching her as an actress, but then as a director it seems like she's also just kind of killing it. But what do you think it is about her?
I don't know. I think she just really, what is so amazing about her is that I think she understands people on a deeper level than I ever will. I think she's just she understands people, she understands life, and she understands really, really, really what it's like to be young, and understands those anxieties and fears, and really wanted to bring all of that into Booksmart. I mean, she was so like loving and open.
She was
and,
so
and
confident,
Yeah.
like happy. I think
Secure.
Beanie said it felt like she was fulfilling her destiny.
Yeah.
It felt like it was exactly what she should be doing. She was so in command of every moment.
And so excited to be there.
So
every
happy
day,
to be
so
there.
passionate,
Joyous.
and loved every character and every human in the movie, from the camera department to us to the makeup
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Like, she's just so all-inclusive in this incredible way that's not to be believed.
Yeah.
How much improv was in the movie? And how did Olivia sort of handle that? Were you guys sort of given free rein, or would you do some takes that are just strictly to the script? How did that work?
Katie Silverman wrote the most genius
praise.
script.
Our queen.
And even there was our script, right? But then each day included 50 different alts for each scene. I mean, that woman can write an alt lines in like 5 minutes.
Or
And she'll
alt
kind of
song.
boom, boom,
Literally
boom,
like
boom,
this.
boom, boom.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Insane.
But the
And she
improv
just gets like the humor of this generation in a way. Like all the genius quotable lines from the movie are all like so Katie Silverman, and like will live on and be this kind of like time capsule of this
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Because I mean, I think her writing was so spot on that we were allowed to sort of play around with it. It just
Yeah.
really depended on the day.
Yeah.
There are some comparisons to Superbad. Do you think those comparisons are fair? Why or why not? I don't know if your brother's had a chance to see the movie yet, since the premiere was just last night. But what do you think about that? It's a classic. If you're going to be compared to a movie, it's kind of great.
I'll take this one, guys.
Run with it.
Why?
We'll just swap faces and then. First of all, it's such a. Superbad is a forever movie. That's what I always say. And to be a forever movie is like no easy feat. It's not only a critical response, but it's like a deep love and a wanting to rewatch. And I think the movie is so celebrated because of its love and celebration of male friendship. For me, Superbad is all about the boop moment. It is like it's really showing male friendship at that age in a really sweet, like loving, sincere light within this like raucous, joyous comedy with so many great jokes. But it's not about the jokes. The reason it lives on is because of that friendship between Michael and Jonah, and we're so honored to be compared to that. And I think the reason is because Booksmart does what Superbad did, which is it celebrates a female friendship within a huge comedy, and it's really a relationship movie as much as it is an adventure, high school comedy. But so half of me feels like so honored, and the other half of me is like, we need to stop saying that girl movies are girl versions of boy movies. It's like we're just another movie. If boy movies are movies and movies that center around females are girl movies. And it's like, we need to stop that. Olivia's always like, let's stop with chick lit. Let's stop with this. It's ridiculous. The rhetoric is so, it's just like, it's
isolating and like gendered, but movies shouldn't be that way.
No, and like my 67-year-old accountant father loved Booksmart. He said Second to the Godfather is his favorite film of all time. And he has not said that about everything me or Jonah has been, and he is not an easy critic. This movie is for everyone, so I think to say it's like a girl version of a movie that centers on boys is just like a bit, But on the other hand, I'm like, Superbad's so great, so that's so nice.
Yeah, like in the spirit of it,
Totally,
I can see or whatever. But yeah, I definitely think there's a place for all of these films.
Totally.
Without having to be a girl version. Okay, so Olivia Wilde told us recently here at Hollywood Reporter, the biggest theme of this movie is the idea of finding worth beyond labels. Did everyone? Because I know maybe some of you have been acting a really long time. Did everyone attend regular high school?
Big time.
Yes. Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Do you how do you feel about that quote that Olivia said about labels? And were you labeled in high school yourself? I think you, Billie. Did you have an interview recently?
I did. Yeah. Well, my high school experience was kind of similar to Gigi's in a way. My two superlatives, which I don't think superlatives should exist at all.
No.
I think it's a cruel thing that we do to high school aged people. It's like, it's already so stressful and anxiety ridden, and then we're gonna like label people as like prettiest and most dramatic and whatever. So my superlatives were most edgy and most likely to be on the cover of a tabloid.
It's very specific.
And very rude.
Yeah.
Like very rude and not true. Like I was home most nights doing homework and writing essays for 4 hours, and yeah, maybe I went to a concert on the weekend, but like, doesn't make me edgy. What does edgy even mean? I don't even know. So
Sassy.
I mean, I am sassy. That's true. I'm a little sassy, but it's not edgy. Basically, the point being is that people judged me based on what they thought about me on paper, and people didn't try to really get to know me. So they assumed that I was just like Carrie Fisher's daughter. Oh, Carrie Fisher's daughter is going to be on the cover of a tabloid, and that's not who I was.
All right, last question. Does anyone have a favorite? Well, not does anyone have. You have to have a favorite, either quote or maybe scene from the movie after finally watching it. I know the premiere was last night, so favorite quote or scene to watch?
I just can't handle Noah Galvin singing
Yeah.
Alanis Morissette and deep-throating a mic. Like, that's really just like my favorite thing that's ever existed.
Nothing's ever been better. No. I got a 1530 on the SATs, but I also give an excellent. You know what I'm
Also
saying.
deep-throating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
Like all
God,
this.
there's so many good one-liners in here. Nobody's winning in that outfit.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I love when Jessica Williams, not to give too much away, but when she talks about Jamba Juice and
good.
that she's been banned from all Jamba Juices, makes me laugh
Can
so
never
hard.
have
She's
a
like,
mango.
it's a sensation. I'll never have a mango go-go again.
That came down from corporate.
So every time we've been traveling so much, every time I'm in an airport, I see a Jamba Juice and I just start laughing so hard. I love it so much. She's so brilliant.
Awesome. Diana, round us out.
But anytime Noah Galvin says anything ever in that movie,
No,
it was
no.
like that opening scene when we're all in the classroom, like when we were filming it, it was so hard not to just laugh because him and Austin are just so good together and so funny. He's like Shakespeare in the parking lot, like I died of that. It was so good.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for having
I'm
us.
so excited for this film, and everyone, please check out Booksmart in theaters. Thanks so much. Thank you.